how to pot up seedlings, specifically tomato seedlings. You take your plug tray, you flip it upside down, and you poke your plugs to loosen them up. And then, you know, if they haven't fully loosened, what you do is you grab your fingers at the very base to be able to pull it out. And then you take your pot, you get it filled up with dirt, and then you poke a hole for it. And then you put your little plug in there, and then you fill it up to the base of the leaves. And then you label it, and you water it very, very well. You wanna make sure it's actually watered all the way through. I know how much water to put in by weight. I know how much a wet pot weighs. So I water it. Does it have enough? Once it's heavy enough, I know I'm done. And then there you go. Now it's ready to grow a little bit more. The way you do things more efficiently on the farm is you do it assembly line style. It's faster to do the same action over and over again rather than to do them each one at a time. So whenever possible, I try to make it a little bit more efficient for myself.
You don't make a sound effect when you do that?
Boop, 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 boop.
That's better. Taking a break, you lazy. Taking a break, you lazy.
I know. The rate that I'm going on these, it's taken me a bit over 2 hours to do the tray. I make no claims of being good at what I do. I'm just persistent. Yeah, so I still have a lot. I probably have 3 hours, which makes it for a late night, but. So exciting news, we have a cat in here that I'm very excited to show off to Ian.
What? Okay. A cat? I know nothing of this cat. Show me this cat. Oh, cutie. Well played, Serina. I know that cat.
So our friend Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch sent us a present that I'm very excited about. As you guys may know from watching this channel, I like to humble brag all the time about the fact that we are Zone 5 and therefore I'm sad and I have to deal with Canadian winters because all you people down in the southern United States make me feel bad about myself. But if anyone was gonna brag about how much cold, bad weather they have to deal with in their garden, it should be Chelsea, because it is very cold and a very short season there. So you guys should definitely go check out her channel. We'll put one of those tabs up at the top. But yeah, so she's close by in Canadian terms. But
Hey, are you gonna tell them how every YouTuber knows each other and we all communicate?
not every YouTuber knows each other. But Chelsea's like our YouTube neighbor. But she's still like many hours away. So she'd been saying she was gonna give this to me next time she saw me.
In Canada, it's like, oh, we're neighbors. It's like, oh, the difference between Britain and Italy.
Yeah. So she gave up on that. And she sent me this present, which is a soil blocker. I'm very excited to try out this soil blocker because it is not the 2-inch blocks. I think that the size on this is a 1.5-inch block. So there's actually 5 blocks. And so with this, I think it should do 80 to a tray. I like the 2-inch blocks for doing the seedling sale, but 50 per tray isn't very much. Whereas with this, I think this is gonna work out really great. And it's hard to get your hands on these smaller blockers, so I am beyond excited that Chelsea sent us such a great gift. So tomorrow, it begins.
Wanna tell everybody what you've been doing?
Yeah, you know, begins tomorrow. So I've just been slacking off here all day, potting up a couple hundred tomatoes. I have 4 of these trays, which doesn't sound like very much, but these hold 200 each. So last night and today, I've been working on getting these potted up into 2-inch pots because these desperately need to get out of these tiny little cells and into something bigger. This is like our tomatoes for the farm, as well as a few things that I started extra for the seedling sale. What I'm working on right now, all of this is Berry's Crazy Cherry. So there's a lot in here. I think there's probably about 120 of these, and I only really need 20 for myself. So we're gonna have lots for our seedling sale. I also had an entire tray, so 200 of pink Berkeley tie-dye. That's 100 for me and 100 for the seedling sale. And then I have a 200 pack of mixed cherry tomatoes. I think I have like 50 Sakura, 50 Sun Golds, and then just a mix of all my other colors. So I got that all in here. And then the last tray I have is this tray of peppers. These are all spicy peppers. So these are mostly for the seedling sale. The spiciest peppers, like habaneros, they're quite slow to grow, so I started them a little bit ahead of time. And then this, I've never grown this before. This is a new one, but it's growing fast, but leggy. I don't know why. It's been under good lights the whole time. I don't know why the stems are so long. But yeah, so I gotta get that done tonight before I'm allowed to go to bed. And it's, I don't know, what time is it? 9:30?
Something like that.
And it's 9:30 now. So I'm probably gonna go to bed late. But look at these. These are some of my pink Berkeleys. Looking so cute. You know, it makes me feel good to see these potting up because I have this very quickly growing. I closed the door in here and I came in here 2 days later, and now these are getting close. Won't be long. Yeah, because look, like stuff like this. This is 2 of these when I pot it up. And this room is full already, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm desperate for space. I've been moving whatever I can out, but you know, it's a little bit crazy town in here, every little bit. You know, these are my dahlias. I've been working like crazy. I have every single one of the dahlias potted into something. But these can't go outside anytime soon. These, if they freeze, they'll die. Luckily they're not growing, so they don't need light. They're just in here, you know, in damp potting soil, starting to sprout their eye, like they have these little eyes. Here, let's find one. Oh, here's a perfect one. Okay, here. So they have, you see these little spots? I don't know if you can see this.
Well, if you hold it still.
Is this showing up? Yeah, so those are called the eyes, and that's what the plant grows out of. So it needs some heat to get started. And then when they're at this point, you don't want to water them too much. They can start to rot. So that's why, you know, on a bunch of these, you can see the top is kind of exposed. I want to be able to very clearly see what is going on here. Because I had some that rotted last year. And when these rot, instead of me being able to sell them, then they get very expensive for me. Because the price needs to be based on them all surviving instead of me killing them. So, you know, there's like 500 of these inside. Very quickly gets way too crazy.
I am a little bit worried about how much stuff we have, and you know, we are limited on how many lights we have. There's maybe a couple that we could dig out and, you know, fire up in some other racking, but we're pretty maxed out already, and the stuff just keeps getting bigger. You know, every tray turns into 6 trays when it's potted up, like Serina was saying, and we don't really know how we're gonna figure out the space. But that means that I have a lot of work, because I have to kind of keep ahead of her, just doing whatever I can to make space so that she can keep potting up, because, you know, when stuff has to get potted up, you can't wait, right? Otherwise everything just dies and all your effort was for nothing. So this next week is going to be pretty insane.
How are you feeling about your jobs? How are you feeling about getting things ready for me?
Well, I'm pretty stoked that I got that walk-in cooler done so quickly.
Haha. Oh, you mean the walk-in cooler that Zero's been done on?
Yeah, that Zero's been done. You know, there's a lot of physical stuff. I've been moving things around, and I'm a bit tired from all of that, and I'm feeling pretty maxed out because, you know, like the child care stuff takes a lot of energy. So I'm not feeling super optimistic about the next little while.
No.
But I know that we'll just work till we're super exhausted, and we'll get it all done, and it'll turn out fine. It'll, like, whatever it is, we'll still have like tons of plants at the nursery sale, and the nursery sale will still do better than last year, you know, even worst case scenario. So I'm not like insanely worried, because this is the last year that we do all this in this building. You know, next year we have our big greenhouse all set up, and we can do it all professionally, and it'll be, you know, different, right? So this year,
I like that you're not saying it'll be easier.
well,
It'll just be, because you're right,
different.
it won't be easier. It'll just be different.
Yeah, it'll just be different. There'll be, because we'll just end up filling up all of our time by growing more plants, right? So instead of being like, oh, we can take it easy now, we'll just be like, well, now we can grow that many more plants, and then, you know, the work will be more streamlined, but it'll, you know, we'll still be maxed out for time.
Oh,
so.
You're speaking my love language, bulk.
You know, I'm not really stoked on doing all this in this nicely renovated area, but, you know, last year that we do it. And also, you know, when Serina was like, should I go crazy this year on the nursery sale? It's like, let's try to hold back just a little bit.
I'm here.
Okay, I passed the camera over so I can roll my eyes so hard that they like make my eyeballs bleed. Ian claiming he told me to take it easy on the nursery sale, when he's the guy who was like, buy all the flowers, buy all the plants. You know, he's the one.
I do tell you to, you know, feel free to experiment. We're still in our experimentation stage of the farm, but you know,
he's giving me mixed messages, guys. He's giving me mixed messages.
I'd say go forward 50% and then come back 10%. And so I'm currently referencing the 10% that I told you.
I think you were like, go forward, full steam, and now you're like, I regret saying that. What Ian doesn't understand is I am being restrained. You know, this bulk is insane. This looks crazy. But it's because of the dahlias. The dahlias get so big. I am actually doing numbers pretty comparable to last year for the seedling sale. The numbers aren't way bigger this year. And if anything, I'm a lot more streamlined in the varieties. I'm doing way less, I'm doing more of less varieties. So same number overall, but less options to make the seedling sale flow a little bit easier on the selling side, because we're gonna try to set up an online sales platform to make life easier for ourselves. The thing I'm really looking forward to is the ability to grow, stuff for ourselves. Like this right here, this is gonna be half of a greenhouse next week. But I've had to be very limited on the things that I can grow for the farm, so I can give that space instead to the seedling sale. And in the future, we're gonna be able to get food a lot earlier when I have space to be able to grow seedlings for the farm itself. I'm not feeling overly stressed out. The thing at this point that stresses me out the most is the weather. Until the weather is nice enough, I can't put stuff outside. And I'm at capacity in the bathroom, so at this point stuff does need to go outside. There's no in between. They need to be under lights. So it's still freezing. It's still getting, a lot below freezing here. And until we're getting at freezing or a little bit above freezing, our unheated greenhouses aren't safe, and therefore I can't put these things out there overnight. So we are gonna have to be making some hard decisions about what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go with, this whole chaos in the next week.